Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm back from a short vacation. James, I think you took a little bit of a trip as well, so
sure did.
we timed that right. But we are back to talk about comics. We're going to talk about some comics that were released this Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. So, as always, downtowncomics.com is the place to go to check out all the new releases. Hopefully you did that last week when we were talking about them. And liking, sharing, and subscribing is super, super appreciated. All right, James, we'll start with you. What have we got this week?
So first up is Absolute Wonder Woman number 12.
All right. I have to say something. First of all, the variant covers of this issue were all pretty fantastic.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, honestly, like the whole Absolute Wonder Woman like series so far, I feel like the variants have been pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And I think I've all but maybe just a few I've gotten variants of because I'm like, I love them. I think they're nothing against all the other artists of the Absolutes, but I think they are just a little bit hair better.
Yeah. Okay.
So this actually ends the storyline of basically Wonder Woman being in the maze.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't want to say a whole lot about this issue, but I did want to bring it up because, let me rephrase that.
Sure.
So like the last issue, we find out that, obviously Wonder Woman's like, oh, there's like another Amazonian possibly, like in this maze, and that's obviously what brings her in there. And, but a lot of this issue is her fight with Clea, and we do get a little bit more of a backstory about her origin, stuff like that. So
are we still looking for other Amazonians? I remember that being a plot point. Like she thought maybe she was the only one. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's still kind of her ongoing thing. Yeah, because that's mainly what brought her into this maze at the beginning.
Gotcha.
So, but it does some of this stuff with like the backstory and the origin that we find out about Clea might set some stuff up for the future of the Absolute Wonder Woman book.
Okay,
But in this also, Wonder Woman is essentially kind of like, how can I do right by this person? Like, there is a tussle between them, and essentially she's like, not getting beat, but she's like, I don't really want to fight back because she thinks that like, Clea's been in this maze for like so long.
Right.
And she's like, well, maybe outside of here, she's not the monster that the maze had made her into.
So is the maze a prison for her then?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is she trying to free her, or is she just trying to find out?
Trying to free her.
Okay.
Yeah. So it does get to a point to where, because Clea, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is from Atlantis. And so in this, she's like, some water appears in the maze, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, if you flood this, like, you won't be able to beat me, essentially, right?
Right.
So she's like, no, I'm just trying to do this to help you. And, but so the second half of the issue is, pretty much reveals Wonder Woman and some stuff that may carry over throughout the entire Absolute universe.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Being like characters, locations, stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
I won't tell you guys, like, if she escapes or whatever, but there is some things that happens to, we learn a little bit more about like Wonder Woman's sister in this and what happens to her towards the end. It's kind of sad a little bit, but not really sad because it's not really, I don't know, to me it was a little bit jarring.
Okay.
So, but I think it's really cool. But at the very end, we do get another Absolute character. I won't say who it is, but...
Oh, is this maybe the first time... Would this be technically the first time another Absolute character has been in another book?
In an actual comic, yeah.
All right.
So I'm really eager to see what the difference is. Now, I don't know if this character is actually going to get their own book, or if it's just she's going to be...
Oh, this isn't one... I'm sorry. This isn't an existing character that has their own book. It's just a new Absolute... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the first time another one that had their own book has crossed over.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I think that comes in Absolute Batman or something.
Oh, does it?
Soon.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know what book they would do that first.
So,
yeah. All right.
I think, honestly, like I said in the past, I really like Absolute Batman, but Wonder Woman is like, I don't know. It's like every time I read that, I'm like, oh, no, I like this one. Oh, no, I like this one. So,
well, it's good to keep topping themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah,
cool.
Great issue.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So, I I read a lot of books this week. I had a lot to choose from. I had to catch up and everything like that. So, but I went with an independent one. It's called Orphan and the Five Beasts, okay? And this is, now the subtitle is Bath of Blood, because this is a sequel. So it's been so long, I don't know when the original came out. So it's by this guy, James Stokey or Stokoy, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But he's got really detailed art. So I can imagine that this takes him a long time to do, because I believe there was even even though there was a 4 or 5 issue miniseries, the original one, that there was a delay, like towards the end, like a couple months delay to finally get the last one out. Anyway, so this is the sequel, number 1 issue. Can you start without reading the original? Yes, they do go over kind of the hero's journey or whatever. But basically what I want to say is the art is fantastic if you like that kind of Geoff Darrow style art where it's very like minuscule detail. It's very bloody. This is a really cool kung fu B-movie / horror concept.
That's cool.
And it's basically our hero is, in the first series, was this predestined hero that was supposed to become the ultimate like demon hunter. There's these demons or something mythological kind of characters roaming the Chinese, or I think it's Chinese countryside or whatever, and his mission is to, there's 5 beasts and he has to destroy them basically. And so he fights 1 or 2 of them in the first one and stuff like that, and then in this one he's after more. So so this reintroduces our main hero, the kind of the funny sidekick kind of thing that you get in like kung fu movies. He's part of this kind of gang that are roving bandits, but in that way in kung fu movies where they're bandits, but they're not really bad guys, I guess. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. For those of you who've seen that kind of stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But fights ensue. It's very bloody. It's just a good time, So it'll be interesting to see if you read it without having read the first one, if you can kind of get it. I mean, there's a lot going on. Like I said, the art is very detailed, and so there's just so much to take in. And then it's got that kind of stilted kung fu-esque movie dialogue where nothing's in complete sentences and stuff like that. So you just kind of have to go with it, but it's a real good time. I highly recommend it for if that kind of martial arts, horror, street fighter, all this genre mashup stuff is a thing for you. Check it out. I believe the original series is still available in trade, but I'm not positive of that. So, but I can certainly check on it for you if you want to. But anyway, really cool concept, fun book. I totally enjoyed it. So
nice.
Yeah.
I've noticed here recently, like within the last maybe month or so, where a lot of comics are coming back that the series ended years and years ago.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think, I think it's shorter than I'm remembering, but it could have been at least a year, probably 2. But again, it hasn't been that long. But yeah, I mean, I think it just took this guy this long to do another one, I mean, and hopefully this one's on time, because like I said, I think there was a big delay towards the end of the first series where like the last issue didn't come out, for like 3 or 4 months after it should have.
Everybody forgot about that.
Yeah, and then people forget. Yeah, you never do that. If you're an independent creator, dang it, stay on a schedule. Don't publish it until you're ready.
Definitely.
So yeah. All right, what we got next?
All right, so next up for me is Immortal Legend Batman number 2. This issue is pretty cool. We get, introduced to a certain other character in the Immortal Legend Batman
Universe?
world. Universe,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
But this can be another basically read as a one and done story.
Okay.
Also. So there's like just a little bit of a subplot to where you're like, okay, well that will probably carry over to number 3 and so forth.
Right.
And but no, in this one, Bruce goes undercover on this spaceship that keeps getting hijacked by these essentially space pirates.
Okay.
So, Bruce is taken back to the base where they all like their home, and they're basically like pitting everybody there that's already there, including Bruce.
Okay.
They're all kind of like pitting each other up against each other essentially. And,
Okay.
Bruce in this. This leads to a face-off between the Immortal Legend Batman and the Immortal Legend version of another character in the Batman which yeah, I don't want to say, but essentially like these people, like from what I'm led to believe, like it's like Bruce created these people somehow, essentially, or like
Okay.
taught them or something like
All
that.
right.
And so when Bruce gets there, the new leader of this group, he's essentially like, oh, you thought that you were going to be able to hide from us, Bruce, but you're not going to be able to. So he thought he was going to be sly and try to infiltrate their system and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, which did not happen at all.
All right.
But yeah, in this also is like, these other people that are there at this like camp obviously are kind of against their will a little bit. And so Batman's essentially, or Bruce is like essentially like, hey, you don't have to follow this guy because he's all about killing, and he kills like 2 people at the very beginning of this issue and stuff like that. So it's really about like him, turning people against this guy that turns into this Batman villain. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It was really cool to see we get introduced just a little bit to Immortal Legend, Robin, and Nightwing.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, which those looked really cool.
Are they still the same people?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some other stuff going on with Batman towards the end of the issue. Immortal Legend, Nightwing, and Robin are basically like, we need to figure out what the heck is going on with Batman because there's like some kind of crazy stuff going on. So
is the main villain been revealed? Like, do you know who the main villain of this is?
Well, so in this, I won't say in this issue, but he is beaten in this issue, so I don't think I don't know if he's going to continue throughout, but it is a pretty big Batman villain, so I'm like, I would kind of hope they would keep him in, going through, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty cool series.
Okay.
It's been pretty cool so far.
Man, DC taking some like big swings.
They really are.
They got some stuff.
They really do.
Okay. All right. Okay, so my second one is it's a Star Trek book. All right. So Star Trek fans, you're going to want to check this book out. It's called Star Trek: The Last Starship. Okay. So 3 reasons why you're going to want to check this out. Number 1. Well, maybe. I don't know. I didn't mind. You don't watch Star Trek, do you?
I don't.
Okay, so you're not going to know what the heck I'm saying. But basically, so there was a show on called Star Trek Discovery, which was very controversial, all right? But basically it ended up in the future of the Federation, okay? Like, I don't know. I think it was 400 years in the future, okay, of when the next, 400 years past the next generation, which was, of course, like 100 years past the Captain Kirk stuff, right? Okay. Yeah, so we're way in the future, and that's where the story ends, and that show's done. Mm-hmm. So it combines. So the main plot of the story is there was something that happened in the future Federation, and the main ship of Discovery time travels to a point after that event. The event was called the Burn, okay? Mm-hmm. And basically what it was is something happened, and most of the show after this ship arrives is figuring out why the burn happened, and you do figure it out, and I'm not sure if everyone likes what happened, but basically the burn was that every dilithium crystals, I'm sorry, I'm being like a Star Trek geek. Dilithium crystals are a thing that powers most warp drives. So the ability of them to go to warp and travel the solar system is because of dilithium crystals, okay?
Okay, yeah.
At some point, the burn was that every dilithium crystal exploded, okay? And so every interstellar starship in the galaxy basically blew up, like all at once. And so the Federation was basically crippled after that. And so when the ship in Discovery arrives in the future, they're just starting to recover from this event. Mm-hmm. Well, this book is set basically when that event happened. So you get to see this fill-in-the-gap story of what happened right after the burn occurred. Okay? Yeah. So our main character is one of the captains who lived through that, one Federation captain who lived through that event. So that's cool. So if you want to know what happened during the burn, if you're a Star Trek fan, that's number 1. Number 2 is one of the big guest stars looks like is a character that was introduced in the 3rd season of Star Trek Picard. Okay. Which was, of the 3 Picard seasons, that was the one that everyone kind of liked. So one of the characters from that show is in the book. And then number 3, and I think this is going to tie into the novels, okay, Star Trek novels. So you're getting real deep in the lore, which I never read, so I'm not positive this yet. And since it's already been given away in one of the covers, I guess I can say that James T. Kirk is back. So he died. Have you even seen any of the Star Trek movies?
I think the only ones I've ever seen were the J.J. Abrams ones.
Okay. All right, I'm talking to... All right.
A noob.
All right. So, again, let me explain that Kirk died officially in the first Next Gen movie. Like, there was 6 original Star Trek movies with the Kirk and Spock crew. Okay? There was 6 of them, right? And then the first Next Gen movie in the mid-90s harkens back to the past to when Kirk died, when an accident happened with the Enterprise B, all right? And so he was officially dead when the Next Gen movie started. But during that movie, there's this thing where he actually didn't die. He was caught in this interdimensional blah, blah, blah. And so him and Picard team up to beat the bad guy. But then he officially does die in the Next Gen movie.
Oh my
so
gosh.
he was thought to be dead at the beginning of the Next Gen movie, but he really wasn't. But he does come back, and with Picard, the captain of the Next Gen Enterprise, they team up, they beat the bad guy, but Kirk does sacrifice himself, and he is officially, like, physically dead. But then there were these books that came out where he was resurrected by the Borg. Okay? So again, I don't know what part of that is being used, but yeah. So he's back again somehow. So again, that just, so there you go. I mean, bottom line is, if you're a Star Trek fan, I think you're going to want to read this comic. If you're like this guy here, he's like, what? Who cares? I'm not going to understand. You're right. You're absolutely not going to understand this book if you read it. Yeah. So I guess if you're not a Star Trek fan, just... I'd start watching Star Trek.
Right,
Start watching Star Trek. It's pretty cool, actually. I
always forget how big the Star Trek universe
God, it's
is.
Huge. Like I said, I've never read... I think I've read one novel. And there's billions of novels probably at this point. And not all of them are canon. Some are, some aren't. It's not like Star Wars where up until the Lucasfilm buyout, they were not in canon. But then after Lucasfilm, they are in canon.
Yeah,
okay. So it's not the same way. If you read old Star Wars novels, it's like Star Trek. They wrote stuff, blah blah blah, wherever, but it didn't really count, so to speak.
Well, that would be interesting. Like if they're tying this.
Yeah, no, they're tying a lot. Yeah, they're tying Picard season 3 and stuff from Star Trek Discovery together, weaving it together. And like I said, the Kirk part, I assume they're going to reference maybe the novels as to why Kirk is still around or something, or maybe not. I mean, it's possible that I think in the 3rd season of Picard, maybe they did mention something that about Kirk that maybe makes this not a novel thing. Sure. I'd have to go back, and maybe in the comments, if you're a Star Trek lore person, you can tell me if I'm on the right track there. I just don't want to give it away. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop talking about this. Because I'm only hitting like 10% maybe of the audience there that's Star Trek fans. So, but it was a good comic, so I'm
sweet.
Yeah. So
all right, we'll have to do a video about Star Trek stuff.
Period. Oh god,
I'll just be sitting here listening to you.
All right.
So last up for me is Justice League Unlimited number 11.
Okay, I did read this book. But it's not on my list, but I did read it, so I'm going to follow along.
So I did accidentally spoil myself a little bit about the new Superman issue that came out because I seen something.
I read that.
Yeah. So this is this book lines right up with the last page of the new Superman.
Yeah, basically, yeah. If you read Superman, you're going to end with a scene, and it's going to say, hey, you want to know what the Justice League was doing this time? Go read Justice League. And then the Justice League book you read, it's like, hey, you want to see how Superman got here? Go read Superman. So, yeah, if you're a DC fan and you read one but not the other, you should at least pick up this other issue to kind of the two. Yeah, the two meet in the middle. So, go on. Yep.
And honestly, like this issue could be summed up with 2 words. Is pure chaos.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
I mean, there's so much fighting going on in this. The Justice League is still dealing with all the crazy stuff that's going on at the Watchtower, and the Watchtower being destroyed, and them trying to hold it together essentially. And
the big thing for me is this whole Doomsday is the time trapper. Like what?
Right.
Like when did that?
I don't know.
Happen?
because when I saw the panel of, because the time trapper being Doomsday, I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? When?
Okay.
Like I can
Another piece of lore that I'm not exactly familiar when that
Yeah.
exactly happened. So anyway, they're trying to save him, right? Because he comes from last issue. He comes in and he's wounded, right? And so Metamorpho, I think, is the one trying to save him. Okay,
yeah. So there's just attacks on multiple fronts, like the parademons overcoming, the Dark Legion attacking, the time trapper, and like you said, Metamorpho trying to heal him and stuff. That's pretty much the whole freaking issue, essentially.
Yeah,
so
right.
they there's been multiple times like Mr. Terrific is like, hey, I need some help. I think it's the parademons that are after him, and he's like, Flash is like, yeah, we kind of got our hands full here, so everybody's kind of not on their own, but Mr. Terrific kind of is at
right.
First half of the issue.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah. But I do want to say there was, and this isn't necessarily tied to this number 11, but it is the prelude or prelude or whatever to KO.
KO, Yep. We're getting ready for KO, everyone. So, and we're gonna have a video on that coming up. So get ready.
Which I will say, and I'll leave 99% of it to that video, but there's a lot in this KO series, tie-ins and all kinds of stuff. So it was fun reading all the action.
It is. It's the culmination of a 2 or 3 issue arc, and I must say they built this shiny new base, and of course it's pretty much destroyed by the end of this issue. So I'm like, you can't ever have nice things,
right? Exactly.
So and I will say I actually like the Superman better, just because there was kind of some cooler characters in that one and some stuff. So definitely worth a read if you get to the end and you see Superman. You're like, what's going on? So, yeah. Definitely. But all right, cool.
Great. Yeah.
All right. Well, my last one, I'm going to give a shout out to one of our people who commented. It's at Books Fell Over. So at Books Fell Over mentioned in one of the comments of the videos that he was like, have you checked out the all new Spider-Gwen, which is the current Spider-Gwen comic? She just started, and she seems to start up new books all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I go, I hadn't, because I don't really read a lot of, even though I think that she's my favorite character of the Spider-Verse movies. I mean, I dig her costume. I dig the whole, I think she's the most fun character of that thing. But I don't really read her in comics for no real reason. Just, at some point I got to say.
That's all I can read.
He asked, hey, would you review number 1 or review number 2 when it came out? And I said, yeah. And so here we go. I'm going to review all new Spider-Gwen, Go Spider. Oh, they just keep having to add pronouns to it. Number 2. So I'm going in pretty much without knowing anything, except I know who Spider-Gwen is. I do know that she's a permanent 616 resident. So she was from another universe, but now she's permanently within the 616 universe. I know that. I did not know that Silk is a guest star in this character. So that was cool, because obviously she doesn't have her own book right now. So Silk is a guest star. And then there's some dude who I guess is the new Black Tarantula, which I'll be honest with you, I'm going to have to go back and find out, number 1, who the original Black Tarantula was. I mean, is that if they're talking about that spectacular Spider-Man villain... Okay, but I didn't know if it was Black Tarantula or just Tarantula. So I'll have to check into that. But anyway, a new one, he's obviously young like the Spider-Gwen character. And I guess he's a hero. But I have no idea what his powers are. I mean, he's just got a kind of a cool looking black costume is all I know for now. So we've got those 3 main characters. Silk, Black Tarantula, who I guess is now Spider-Gwen's boyfriend currently. And I guess they're all trying to start a band together. Because she's into music, and so they're trying to start a band, but someone killed in the first issue one of the non-band members, murdered him. So Spider-Gwen is all sad and ticked off about that, and wants to find the killer. There was someone that they saw over the body, but it's clear in this book that he's probably like an innocent bystander kind of thing. He's not the real killer. Anyway, I mean, the book so I got caught up to speed pretty much in the little paragraph prologue in the beginning of the book. So that was fine. I could follow along fine. Art's good. It starts off with Silk being attacked by what we think is the main villain, and we know nothing about him. He has this venomish look. He's got that kind of that monster venom symbiote kind of thing, and he's got like a green spider symbol on him. But other than that, I don't know. It seems like he's a new version of a venom type. Silk gets put in the hospital, and then we go from there where Black Tarantula and Spider-Gwen try to track down who they think is the killer, because that person has been identified as the killer. Mm-hmm. So there we go. I enjoyed the book, and we'll see what I'll go ahead and read issue 3, because I just want to I want to find out who the Black Venom looking person is. But the art was good, and I followed along fine, so no problems. Yeah.
I did read issue 1 when
oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And then I haven't read issue 2 yet, but I think I've said on these videos before, I've pretty much liked anything Stephanie Phillips has written.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And if you are if you are a fan of Stephanie Phillips, she does do bunch of TikTok, Instagram videos about like what it's like being a comic book writer.
Oh, okay.
And like she gives tips and a bunch of different tips and tricks and stuff like that. So really cool little tidbit there for you.
So thanks at Books Fell Over for that shout out, and I'm glad. Hope you enjoyed the review. But I would recommend this. I mean, especially like I said, if you're like me and like Spider-Gwen in the animated movies,
for sure.
I mean, this is pretty good read.
Yeah.
So, but then anyone else that wants to comment, going forward, like, hey, is there a book that you'd like to see reviewed? Like, let us try to read. Like, maybe we already have and just didn't have time, but maybe it'll be something new that we can give a shout out to. So all right, well, I think we're done today.
That's it
okay,
for this one.
We're gonna have a lot of videos, so check us out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.